All right, welcome to this evening's millage hearing. The purpose of this meeting is to have a public hearing to discuss the proposed fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023 millage rate. At this time, we're going to stand and have a moment of silent prayer, and then it'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you will, please stand with me. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Ms. Merritt, would you like to start us off?
Good evening, Commissioners, Vice Chair. We are here to do the final presentation. Tax Assessor Emmett is going to start us off, and then Mr. Wall will take over after that.
Good evening. This is, once again, I'm going to go over the growth for the county, especially from 2021 to 2022. So if we can go ahead and go to the first slide here. Sorry. This is just a recap of the presentation from 6/7 of this year that the Board of Commissioners received from Ms. Dees. It was a great presentation that shows the growth in what's been going on in the county during the pandemic, but especially in these last 12 to 16 months. So as you can see here, we started off at about 145,000 for January of 2020. In that next year through 21, we saw about a 10% increase. But January of 21 to January of 22, we saw a 47% increase in the overall median of homes in the county. We jumped from 160 to 235. And then also, as you can see, from basically January of 2022 all the way through the current, which I think was about end of May when this was data was accumulated, that the median actually went from 235 to 264. So we still seeing increases, and that's still being kind of continued right now. The new home prices also saw an increase in 21 from 268,000 to 312,000. This right here is just a median home price for the counties that adjoin us. You can see we're at 235,000. Henry County's at 345,000. Fayette at 452, and then Fulton at 550,000. So this basically reflects that overall we have still the best value in the metro area. Last thing I want to discuss is from our office. The overall digest was up about 13%, and that was due to that increase that you saw in the overall median. That was the primary drive of that. Our assessment level for all the sales for 2022 was at a 38.03, which puts us about 12 to 15% below what our 40% ratio could be, which means we're a little bit into the taxpayers' favor. Department of Audits has actually just completed our 2022 study, and their study came at a 37.55, so it's actually even a little lower than that 38.03. Also in 20 and 21 during the pandemic, we tried to stay below 39 as our median ratio, just to stay in the taxpayers' favors. We never knew what the pandemic was going to do, and so we stayed in about a 7 to 10% also during that time. That's all I have for as far as presentations on growth. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Mr.
Thank
George.
you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Can you click me on, Bishop? Thank you so much. So you all know you have to set the millage rate. Your tax digest has grown, just as Mr. Emmett George had said. We are rolling your property tax back, and I wanted to go straight to the general fund. So you can see last year in 21, your net millage rate, the fourth line down, is 14.746. Because your tax digest has grown, We're rolling the millage rate back to 14.496. That's a 0.25 mil decrease. Because the tax digest has grown, we're collecting a wee bit more in taxes. And so we're having to advertise these hearings for the millage rate, 3 public hearings. This hearing is the 3rd and last one. So the millage rate staff's recommending to you is 14.496. That 3.701 mils above it is a reduction. You have to roll back your local option sales tax, last year's collections for this year's property tax levy. So if you did not have a local option sales tax, your millage rate would be 18.197. But because you collect local option sales tax, the taxpayers get the benefit of that, and the net millage rate is 14.496. The fire fund is remaining at 4.75 mils. By law, you can do it at 5 mils. You have had it at 4.75 for several years, and as the tax digest grows, the amount of money you're collecting in the fire fund is increasing. And you can see we were at 5 mils in 18 and 19, then 4.9 mils in 20. So you have lowered the fire millage rate as your tax digest has grown. And then for the average homeowner, for a $150,000 house, I'm in the middle column called proposed. The way the taxes are calculated, $150,000 is assessed at 40% of fair market value for the assessed value. So that's a $60,000 assessed value. You can see that 14.496 mill rate is $869 in taxes. You can see the 4.75 mils for the fire fund is $285, and that gives a total of $1,154. Last year it was $1,169, so in this $150,000 house it saw a slight reduction of $15. We also did it on a $500,000 house. You can see on a $500,000 house, the total tax burden is $3,849. Last year it was $3,899, so it's a $50 break on a $500,000 house. That again, that 3.701 mil reduction is a big reduction on $200,000 assessed value on that $500,000 house. 3 mils would be $600, and so you're really giving the taxpayers a really big break. This is the total millage rate that you can see for incorporated and unincorporated. Some of the incorporated communities have their own fire system. The chairman corrected me at the last meeting. I believe Mara has a fire department, Riverdale has a fire department, and Forest Park has a fire department. So they don't pay the 4.75 mil tax, but every other part of the county does. And those are your net millage rates. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Wall?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. All right, at this time, this is a public hearing, so if anybody would like to come and speak in reference to the proposed millage rate, anybody in favor would like to come forward and speak, or anybody opposed has a right to come speak. All right, well, seeing and hearing none, we will stand adjourned until 6:30. Thank you.